Hey everybody, how's it going? Cruz came back with another video, and today we have a review on a ship that I probably should have got done a long damn time ago, but I got so busy with clan wars and everything else that I couldn't get a chance to get this done. But now we're getting to it finally. It took me a little while to get this, but it is the key, the Tier 8 Premium from the Imperial Japanese Navy that they released in World Warships about a little under a month ago. This is a Tier 8, basically, what the Amagi should have been, could have been, and would have been. Now I paid a little extra to have that camo there because basically it makes me almost a tier 10 in this ship. So if I could prove the point here, if I go hit camo right here, with this camo, it reduces the cost of battles by 50% plus the 20% in credits, and also plus 100% of experience on this ship. I've only played a handful of matches in this ship and I'm already at almost 100,000 experience. So it goes to show this ship can actually be quite a potential free experience gainer ship if you need be to have it, but also a good credit game if you need it as well. If you could do well in this ship, and I'll go over why I'm going to talk about if. I'm going to stress the word if on this one. And other people have got better in this ship. Me, not so much. But we'll explain what I'm talking about in a minute. First off, let's talk about what basically this is. Basically, it's the Amagi. Same guns, a little more, nonetheless. But there is a few subtle changes, so we're going to go over Amagi and the key at the same time. Both, technically, the Amagi was going to be a battlecruiser type ship, but very big of its size. So, nonetheless, we'll digress. Now, what's first things first? Let's go over... Let's start with concealment. We'll go over the armor and everything else as we go. Start with concealment. Bear with it, guys. With this ship, I do not have Concealment Expert. That is one of the things I was trying to get to, but I didn't get a good match yet to prove the point with that yet. With Concealment Expert, probably be better on this ship, but we do not have that. I do have the Concealment modification on here, which reduces the detectability by 10%, but that is nothing much to shake a stick at. So we have a assured acquisition because of the smoke of 2 kilometers. So if you're in smoke, we have a 15.6 detectability in the sea, 12.4 in the air. Compare that to Amagi, which I have a 14-point command room, which have the buffs that I want. That has a concealment of 14.4, 11.8 with air, and assured acquisition of 2. That's not going to change. Assured's always going to be the same. So it's roughly a little better, a little worse for wear, but we'll get to another point with this in a second. Now let's go to maneuverability. 29.5 knots with a turning circle of 880, which is pretty respectable, and a 12.7 rudder shift. Compared to Amagi, which is a 30 knot speed, so a little faster, little worse wear. I think it's a little better of the turning circle. However, the rudder shift is a little slower on this compared to the key, which you can definitely tell when you play the key. It's almost like a wet dream with how well that thing can turn. Now let's go to the broken thing. Raz, what the hell's up with the 95 rating and a tier 8 Japanese battleship? Well, this thing has something a little different than most of them. Let's go over Amagi. Everybody remembers Amagi. She has the 25 mils. She has the 24 dual 25 mils. She has the 12 triple 25 mils. And the dual purpose 105 inchers. Makes sense. They love to play in their 25 mils. The guns, that was the Japanese' pride and joy. However, it did have a nasty air curtain issue. That's why the Yamato got hit so well. This ship, a little different. This has what the Japanese, quote, wanted to have. This has, of course, the triple 25 mils. What's that, Braz? Yes, it has Bofors. Those are Japanese Bofors. Those are 40 mil Bofor Chi Type 98s. And there are 16 dual purpose ones on here with not the 5 inchers, but now the dual purpose 100 mils, which, if you remember correctly, this is the same 100 mils that you see on, yes, you're right, Akatsuki, which you remember how nasty that can be in anti-air firepower. Now back to this. It's very, very deadly with this. However, please be warned. I will point this out. Look at the firing ranges. 4.2, 3.7, and of course, 6. Remember, I only have basic and advanced. If I go look at the modules again, I did not buff it again. I didn't feel that it was necessary. I wanted to increase the aiming modification on this because of a few things, and we'll digress onto that later. But with those two, it makes this thing very, very deadly for anti-air. I had taken out Tier 9 Saipan planes like it was Swiss cheese in this thing. Me and a friend of mine, Wandering Bread, went around and two of these to test the preliminaries of this thing, and we're basically ripping the planes like it was nothing out of the air. So be warned. However, remember though, because of the Bofors and the Type 96s, you will have some issues with torpedoes. If a good carrier comes in and drops them at the right position, that's not going to make any difference. Coming in, he might lose 1 or 2. Going out, he might lose 1 or 2, but a few are still going to drop. So you might get hit. And we'll go over what I'm going to talk about later. Now, of course, there's also another thing with this thing. You have, I think, if I remember correctly, the largest torpedoes in the game, 610 millimeters. If I remember correctly, there's no other ship that has torpedoes that big. Let me double check Shimakaze. I don't think Shimakaze has torpedoes that big. No, they do. They have 610s as well. Yugamo, 610, okay. Okay, no, Gigero has it too. Okay, they're all 610. So, actually, my apologies right there. It's a good thing I always fact-check myself. Thank you. But as I'm going over this again, they got to be the largest battleship type torpedoes. And what's the nice thing about this? The angles for firing these torpedoes, it's way in the back. You think we'd have an issue? Nope, you're going to have a very good angle. If I'm putting my mouse right about here, it's roughly about the angle that these torpedoes are at, they can fire. So just turning your ship just a slight bit, let's say the ship is dead on you, you could probably angle just about that much as they're coming in and whap them with a few torpedoes. And these torpedoes give 14,600 damage. The range by sea is 1.6. The speed of these is not bad, 63 knots. The range isn't great, but then again, are you really a torpedo boat? No. You're like basically a buffed up Tirpitz. A buffed up Tirpitz. That's how basically a lot of people have been talking about maybe this can be. Now let's go over the one issue I've had off and on with this thing. Let's go back to Amagi. She has 410mm guns. Reloads 30 seconds. Turning 36 seconds. Max dispersion 211. We can go on and on and on. Blah, 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 blah. It's the same as before. 19.9 range, which is pretty good for a tier 8. Not great. Pretty good. Now let's go to key. Again, 4 and 10. Reload times 31 seconds. 4 and 10. Yeah. 4 10s again. Maximum rotation 38.3. What's that res? Those are pretty damn quick. Yeah, they are. Max dispersion is 208. Chance of fire is 50. The maximum HE shell is 6,500. AP damage is 1,260 compared to Amagi's, which is 1,260 again. So the shells are about the same, but why do I say you struggle? Well, the dispersion says it's better on paper. But I have had nothing but issues in this thing with a couple matches where no matter how hard I try, no matter how hard I'm spam firing the shells, these suckers do not want to be your best friend. You have to have the team actually give you the position to hit them, to get the shells to hit the target. But then again, I've been lately having issues with warships where I'm basically just having moments of like, are you kidding me? That should have been a Citadel. That should have been a good hit. Um, it's a nightmare, but nonetheless, these guns are very, very good. Very good turning radius. I actually thought that these things had WD-40 rotating them in the matches. It was very, very impressive. I was able to get my guns rotating very quickly in positions when I needed to get myself around and get out of the way and turn around to defensively, what I call defensive retreat, where I'm basically retreating and just firing my back guns zigzagging out. And I would do that so many times in so many ships, just to get out of positions that are really hectic. This thing has 3 guns, so that were perfect for me. And I'm still firing most of my artillery. And it works really well to advantage. Which, speaking of which, let me also add this too. With this, you would think that some of the guns would have a difficulty turning with a good angle. Not the case with this one. You can fire most of the guns at a pretty sharp angle, which is pretty good. I wouldn't recommend it to fire all of them if you get another ship coming at you. You will get Citadel, and I will explain that in a second. But you can fire them at a pretty sharp angle, and it will help you in a pinch if you're trying to do that. Fire them all, get back into angle, fire them all, get back into an angle. That technique will work very well in this ship because the turning rudder shift, you can turn back and forth through that rudder shift very quickly if you need to. Now let's go back to survivability. This is where things get a little dicey. You got 6600, 300 in the Amagi, and you have 68,200 in the Key. Good. I got more health. I can last a little bit longer. Hold on your horses. 458 here, and 457 here. What's up with the armor? Those different numbers going on here, Raz. And what's up with the torpedo? Yep, 27%. This has got the weakest of the torpedo protection of any of the premiums from the Japanese line, as far as I can remember. Here, I'll explain why. First off, you can see that torpedo bulge very small. Compared to Magi's, look at the size of that torpedo bulges. They're ginormous. There's a second layer on top of the first layer down here. That's ginormous compared to Key, which Key's basically the designed version of the ship. You don't have that luxury. And that's one of the issues with what I'm going to explain with the armor. Now, the whole ship around here's got 32 millimeters of armor. Very good, technically, what you need for when you're penning through the Citadel on the top deck. It's going to help you in a pinch. However, it doesn't completely fix the problem with this ship. If I remove on both ships their top plates, here's Amagi's. Let's also remove that top part there. Remove less of the bull crap we don't need to play with. Let's remove the guns too. We don't really need to play with that. Now we have both ships showing just their decks. No guns. Key's got the artwork and the deck. 32. There's pour the top part deck of the armor, and you do have a turtleback anyway on this top. But you only have this decking. Compared to Magi's, it's a little wider, and the angles are a little deeper. That Citadel's a lot smaller in a way, and different perspectives. The Citadel looks a little more protected. Your Citadel is actually got 152 and then 229 in there. Compared to Key, you just only have 73. Only 73, and on the sides of the bulkheads, it's 73, and on the sides here, it's 120. If I remove this, now you can see it more. The deck is only 95 in the middle, and the sides are only just a sheer slide of 118. Compare that to Amagi, you have still, if I took off that, I took off the second decking off the Key. This thing didn't have it on the Amagi. They basically combine the two on the Amagi. Now let's remove that top part. You can see the Citadel is quite large in this ship, but you have a very nice angled slope in there, a little bit of turtleback in there, and the armor is pretty damn thick. You got 102.95 in certain locations, and on the front of this you got 152 and 229. That makes it good for blocking shells, especially if you're semi-angled. You're gonna hit the stuff. And on top of that, I didn't even add, if I put this back up, I'm trying to bring up all the perks here. You have actually pretty amount of, you got all that torpedo bulkhead, and then on top of that, they have to hit an angled deck of 254 or that 152 down below. If I bring the key back up, the only place you can block is right on this side plate. If they aim lower, there's a weak spot in the Citadel at 58 millimeters. It's a very small spot, which is kind of annoying. But if I took off the top, look at the top here. 22, 63, 38, and on the sides, 120 and then 173. Those torpedo sides were the same as Amagi, but on the top almost. Even on the side plates. And their side plates are 152. The armor is very, very brittle on this ship. So you will get Citadel like it's Swiss cheese in this thing. The armor isn't that fantastic, really. It's basically a meh version of the Amagi. The only thing this ship's got going for, and I hate saying this, is the guns can turn really rapid fire when you need it, and the anti-air is a god. One of the most broken anti-airs you can get in the game. No planes will come near you because they know better not to come near you. Now, I'm going to show some gameplay of this, this ship, but this is basically me doing my damnest best in this ship. I know other people are going to complain and say, no, the key's good, man. I have hit and misses in this ship, and then again, I'm doing off and on bad lately, and I'm going to say that with a passion, but I shouldn't have to struggle this so hard in a ship. So, my rating overall in this ship, out of 9 out of 10, I give it at least an 8.5. It's not a god. It's not great. It's not bad, but it's missing something. I think if they added another little bit to the Citadel armor, I think it would have made this thing a little better. Maybe it would have been a little more cost worthy, because getting this ship with this look, this package I got, cost me $60. I think it was $60 when this came out. Paying $60 for this ship to have this seems a little bit of a letdown. I probably would have paid $45 for this to be a fair value. That would have been a fairer price with the package I got for this ship. This package that I got from this doesn't make any sense. So, as I go on, we'll just play the ship, and like I said, you'll see what I mean. So, not talking, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is one of the maps here. We're playing Neighbors. This is actually me, luck of the draw, getting actually a decent matchmaking for once. Hooray! Oh my god, this thing is a pain in the rear end for matchmaking. That's another thing too. You're gonna not have ideal matchmaking for this ship. You're going to get either A, you're gonna get top of the tier A, and have a fair game, or you're gonna have a tier 10 match. Because it's 8, you will not have peripheral matchmaking, and you will have chances of getting rolled up to near tier 9 or tier 10. And if you're tier 10, pray you don't see a Montana or another battleship, because you're basically just saying, put your hands, bend your head over and use your ankles and kiss your ass goodbye, because you are going to have that happen to you. Pardon my French there, but it does happen in the ship. But that's to go without saying. Now, I'm taking it slow here because I just wanted the other ships to actually have the balls to actually go, I'm gonna scout for you. Because it's been happening so many times in my key that I just could not deal with everybody acting like Grandpa, getting to the lunch line and having him go up ahead and take all the front blunt force trauma to the skull. So, yeah, I didn't want that anymore, so I kind of backed off a bit to get some distance away from my team. However, that's not going to be the case very soon, because here comes the first contender, and I woken up and I ordered my captain, my crew, to buff up the engines and let's get rolling, because here we go with the first contender of the night. Abadione. Woken myself up, and here we go. I'm going to aim up. Look at that dispersion. And that's an instant kill. Yeah, you'll get that. Like I said, the 410s are not that bad. They're decent shells. However, they aren't anything to shake a stick at. They still have a dispersion that's kind of annoying. So if you don't know how to frickin' aim with these things, you're going to have a lot of issues. Now, I do see a destroyer out there and a battleship, so let's get the destroyer for a low shot, see what I get, because sometimes my rolls with destroyers are usually just a big middle finger to destroyers, giving me because how well my aim is, but there's a miss. I didn't think that he was, I thought he was running a little faster, but he wasn't, so I falsified that mistake and I missed completely. Now, of course, good work. The Itago and the other one are working mincemeat over that destroyer. However, because somebody bolted too far up, he is now deleted. And the Itago is still bolting up there. And he's not thinking, oh, there's an Amagi there. I might want to pull back a little bit. And now he's yelling at himself. And I go, well, that's what you get for actually pushing up too hard. Forgetting the cap, I don't need to push that hard. So I'm working my way on the Amagi to try to get it off for Itago and try to get him out of that position. Luckily, he did throw torpedoes out there to pull him away, which gave him a prime opportunity for this. He's now broadside. So we're going to fire at that waterline and watch what he shows. Again, we're going to fire. Shells are going to go. And I get 3 overpens and 2 penetrations. Get used to that. You will get that a lot in the Amagi in the key. I don't know if you get that a lot. I haven't done the Amagi in a little while, and I never had that big of an issue. But then again, it's still like more of an issue. Now look, here comes the planes. And like I said before, I don't have manual AA, and I want to put that on here to see if it actually buffs it even more, which I'm pretty sure it will. And basically all those planes were melted by me and a few hits. It's a little broken. What do you do? Now I fired again. I missed a few on that shot, but that second shot, right at that waterline again and again. No dice. And remember, I was slightly angling and I was pulling out. One hit. He did 21,000 damage. One shot, he took a quarter of my health out. And this is why I have to warn you guys. I cannot stress this enough with the warnings. If you are broadside, get ready to get yourself hurt. Your armor is nothing to shake a stick at. You will get hurt very badly. And I can't stress that enough. But then again, it's one of those things. You should take a punishment for actually getting yourself broadside for this ship. However, you take a lot of damage that's really unnecessary. Now I'm firing at the destroyer because that cruiser did not do the squad. He should have died a long time ago. The Amagi wasn't doing it. The Colorado wasn't firing at him. No one else was killing him, so I might as well kill the damn thing. I already typed in the chat, said it had to be done. No one else was killing him. There it is. Now we're gonna fire that Amagi once again, and I'm expecting nothing from the shells. And of course, yeah. Non-pen and over-pens. Like I said, you're gonna get used to that a lot in the key. You're gonna pull a good salvo, you think, it lands right where that citadel mark is, wherever that citadel, and no juice, no dice. That doesn't mean cruisers are, gonna be free from that, but you would think in this ship you would get at least a dicey hit. Now, I think I aimed a little higher on this shot, and that's when... Hallelujah! I got more damage, sonny! So if you're really going to go after this ship, I do recommend aiming a little higher, because the shells seem to not like hitting that waterline. If you're closer, yeah, waterline, but if you're up further, use your guns just a slight bit above that, you'll get a good hit. Now, of course, this shell, again, looks a little too much to the front, yeah, and I get punished a bit for this. But as I'm just going over and over again, the shells on here are decent. You can see that the dispersion is nothing to shake a stick at for. They're fair accuracy, but not great. So you do feel like you're struggling a little bit, but you do feel like you're accomplishing something. It's like somebody trying to pull up, some massive load somewhere that's for a neighbor or something that it's not rewarding for you, but you're getting $20 possibly from the neighbor for helping you out, maybe. Like I said, and here comes some shells again, and yeah, we do better on that shot. The shells hit pretty decently when you hit the right spot. If you don't hit the right spot, you're going to get screwed. Now, this is a prime example I'm talking about the turning of these guns. You can see, I'm zigzagging around like a chicken with a head cut off. But look, those guns are still keeping up with me pretty damn good. Usually when you play a battleship of this size and this grandeur, the shells, the guns take forever to rotate to the position you need. And you feel like you're struggling. Not in case with this ship. The guns actually cooperate quite a bit. I'm trying to get rid of this guy because he just needs to go. So, rotating the guns. I almost got my front ones already rotated by now, and now I'm firing my back salvo again. I can finish him off, I kind of can. And almost. Again, it bounced. Like I had 3 guns loaded and I fired a third time's the charm salvo. Bleh! And there he goes, finally. Now, our Colorado died too. And I'm going to say this. That Colorado player, forget him. He was pathetic in the game. You don't go straight into a Kutuzov knowing he has torpedoes, first off. Everybody knows that. Next time, Colorado, learn to play your ship. You do not go out front like that. Colorado does not like going like that. Good guns. Armor's luckless. Alright, so I'm trying to get this Kutuzov, and he is bearing down on me, burning me alive, and this is not looking good for team. I'm the only person on this side, other than the carrier plane. Our major force on the other side of the map basically got themselves butthurt so badly that their mother felt it. So, unfortunately, I will not have any assistance from the rest of the team because I am what's left of the team. So I throw torpedoes out on the side, and I know I'm going to miss, so I'm already turning my guns around as quick as I can to fire up the other side. Look at that turning circle, guys. That's the that's the torpedo tube. Pretty nasty. Now try to turn. We're coming in. I know those torpedoes are coming, so I'm turning as hard as I can. Unfortunately, it does hit me in the nose, and that's it me. That is actually my best game I've done in the key. 97,000 damage. That's it. That's all I got. So, like I said, this ship, it can be good, but it needs improvement, I think, into my thought. But then again, that's just my thoughts on it. If you guys want this ship, it does give you quite a bit of earnings for cash and credits and stuff like that. But I do recommend choosing wisely. If there's other ships out there that are better for tier 8 premiums, Alabama's a good one. That's a good ship. And they're working on getting the other class, the Massachusetts currently working on, which is basically the same class, so I don't know why they're thinking of releasing that. And if you like cruisers, go get a Kuzov. That's even better. That's a credit-making machine. But then again, like I said, this thing does have that camo that makes you earn quite a bit of credits. So I didn't want to show the post-game battles on that, not to mention I don't have them on me. But my thoughts right now is just reviewing what this ship is and how I feel about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, what my thoughts are review on the ship. Overall, I think it's definitely a ship that is okay. It's not great. It's got its strengths that are godlike, but the rest is just, really? You made it so weak that it's a problem. A little bit. But then again, that's just my thoughts on the ship. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like if you like it, dislike if you don't like it. Rate, comments down below what your thoughts are. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, take care, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.